Welcome back to Bonanza Disc Golf Van Edition again. And if you're new to the channel or don't know my full story, I started playing disc golf in January of 2022, this year. And earlier today, I had a distance competition for a tournament that I'm playing over these next 2 days, and I threw a shot 470 feet.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Okay.
Hold it. Just take yeah.
That one was only 461, but I averaged 441 across 5 shots, including one that I kind of burned into the ground at 390 feet. And so today I wanted to talk about one of the questions that I get most often, which is kind of flattering, and that is, how did you get so good so fast? And I also want to include a way that you can get really good really fast as well during this off season. And we have some unfortunate life updates, but also some... I need a mic, 1 second. Nope, where is it? I think this might work. Oh no, it's too fast. So apparently an 11-speed driver is the perfect size because this is just a little bit too fast for my clip. Let me run through my full story with disc golf as well as before disc golf, because a lot of you guys have astutely understood that there's probably some sort of athletic background that I have that helps me to throw the disc far as well as pretty accurately from the jump. The first time that I ever touched disc golf discs was January 18th of this year. That's because I've been living in a van full time since September of last year, and I was actually at a park in Chattanooga, and I saw there was some weird disc golf thing, so I took the Ultimate disc that I had in the back of my van, went and threw it at that course, told my buddies about it who we were about to be visiting in Kansas City, Kansas, Missouri, one of those places. We're in Tallahassee now, so obviously Florida, you gotta have all the sirens.
Where are we?
We're not in Tallahassee, we're in Pensacola. We're in Florida. But I told him about this, and he gave me a starter set of like 4 or 5 discs. I think I only have one of those left because I lost a couple of them. But from then, I got hooked. And since January 18th, I've played in 12 total tournaments. I won 2 of them. One was MA2, and one was last month MA1, which I have a tournament vlog showing pretty much every shot, breaking that one down. But I know a lot of you guys have been playing for 10 months like me, and are wondering why I have so much distance and accuracy. And I think there's one thing that it comes down to that I don't hear a lot of people talking about in disc golf, but I'll be able to explain that better when I tell you my whole athletic backstory. Also, just for reference, like, I'm not the best disc golfer in the world, but I'm 943 rated. My last tournaments, which were 4 tournaments over a month, I averaged about 961. We'll see what happens tomorrow's tournament because I am not prepared. I forgot I was supposed to be speaking into the mic, so hopefully that picked up well. But I don't think I'm gonna play well tomorrow. Or maybe really good. We'll see. One thing to know about me, if you're watching me right now, maybe you're able to tell. I don't know, maybe I give off some sort of Napoleon syndrome, but I'm only 5'6", and I've always been small. Like, I wanted to be like pro at basketball when I was younger, and then everybody kept growing and I didn't, and I was like 5'2" until I was like a junior in high school. And I've always been pretty athletic, even for my size, but I think especially because of my size, which made me want to work a lot harder than people, try to run faster, jump higher, do all the things to kind of make up for how small I was. And so because of that, I think I've developed that thing that not a lot of people in the disc golf community talk about. But to answer a lot of your guys' questions, my background athletically was soccer my junior and senior year of high school, which honestly, if you have a soccer background, I think is one of the biggest helps for gaining distance quickly in disc golf, because when you strike a soccer ball, like I'm going to show here, the hip movement can pretty easily translate into the necessary hip movement to throw a disc. You just have to figure out your upper body, but if you get that lower body down, it'll be pretty solid. And even from that, if we look back at the form that I had when I filmed that 461-foot shot, like, it's not good. There's so much room still for improvement there, and we'll get to how I'm gonna be working on that in ways that you can too. But along with playing soccer, all throughout high school and some early college, maybe like one semester, I played a lot of pickup ultimate, and being a small guy who was fast, I would run a lot, but on top of that, I was a handler, which if you don't know ultimate, I mean, I never played on any significant level. I played like church league. I don't even think I ever played a sanctioned league of ultimate. No, just pick up. But I played basically every week, a lot every week, and I like to throw the frisbee a lot, and so I think that gave me a lot of touch around the basket as well as some accuracy, because since I'm small, I'm not always the one fighting for the discs, and I had a pretty good arm, so I was able to throw pretty well. And this leads me into the thing that I don't think is talked about all the time in disc golf, or maybe even at all, and maybe this isn't even true, but it's kind of the main reason why I think I can throw that far. And like, I honestly surprised myself today. I thought I was gonna maybe get out there and throw like 430, 450 max, and then to average 441. And I mean, if we take that throw out of it, I averaged over 450 for my other 4 good throws. That was very surprising to me. But I think the main thing that it breaks down to is fast twitch muscles. I'm not a kinesiologist. I'm not an exercise scientist. So this is just one guy on the internet who can throw, I guess, far for having played not a super long time and being super small. And like my wingspan is not like Paul McBeth's like 5'8", but he has a 6'1" wingspan. I don't. I'm like 5'6" with like a 5'6" wings. I should probably measure that. Fast twitch muscles, if you don't know, and I'm not going to do this justice. Someone comment everything that I'm wrong about, but you have two types of muscle fibers, fast twitch and slow twitch. Fast twitch are the things that help you to accelerate very quickly. And so people who jump really high have really high fast twitch muscles because that's a very explosive movement. As I finished my last season of soccer, I really got into powerlifting. And so I would do a lot of really explosive deadlifting, weighing only about 145 pounds, but I was able to eventually deadlift 365. I was able to bench press 225 and squat 275. And I think those really helped to develop my fast twitch muscles, which is one of the things I don't see a lot of people talking about, because I think that is one of the main reasons why you can look at two people who seem to have very similar form. And one of them is just throwing the disc farther because it's coming out faster. The form seems very similar, but maybe their fast twitch muscles are more developed. I'm not exactly sure on that. And I think there are ways that you can train them. I'm going to look more into this for sure, but I've always had pretty solid just speed running. I was always able to jump high for my size. People were always impressed by that. And now people are impressed by my distance for being such a small guy. And I think all three of those come from, I've trained a lot up until this point, but I have not done a lot within the last 2 to 3 years athletically. And so to come into disc golf and be able to throw far, I think has to do with that base of training, but also having pretty solid fast twitch muscles, which just allows me to snap around a disc pretty fast. But if you don't have an athletic background, you still want to be able to throw far, there are definitely ways to improve that. And I think that shows like I probably have a decent amount of distance still to be unlocked, and I'm sure you do too. I mean, honestly, look, whenever I watch my form for these videos, I'm like, this is really ugly. And I think one more important thing to say is that I really haven't spent a ton of time working on my form. There have been like little things that I've done. I filmed this back in like April when I was throwing about 370, which is like 3 months into playing disc golf. But really besides that, I haven't done a ton of form work, which is one of the main things that you can do to gain more distance. But that's not the only thing you need in disc golf, which is why starting next week on Saturday, a week after this video at 1 p.m., I'm going to be releasing the intro video to Project 100, which is what I'm doing over this off season, November, December, January, maybe even into February, where I want to break down all the ways that you can get better at disc golf. Main goal of Project 100 is to add 100 feet of distance, forehand and or backhand, depending on what you want to work on. If you want to be an overachiever and do both, do that. If you want to work on one specifically, do that. So my goal with Project 100, and the reason why in some of the comments you guys might have seen I'm calling it Project 500, is because I want to throw 5 discs over 500 feet in a row. Not like a fluke, not like I threw one 560 and the rest of them 490, so it averaged out to about 500. I want to throw consistently over 500 feet, and that for me feels like I'm adding about 100 feet of distance. But on top of just adding distance, putting is the thing that's going to make you play so much better than everybody else. That's really what it comes down to. You really don't need more than 350 feet of distance, I don't think, if you can putt super, super well to compete even at like MA1, sometimes even MPO levels at the local level, not necessarily the Elite Series, which is why I'm trying to get to that 550 feet of distance, max power, 500 feet consistently, so that I can play at those really, really high levels in disc golf. But Tenet 1 is we're trying to add 100 feet of distance, and we're going to do that by doing at least one fieldwork session per week and one non-disc golf workout per week and 100 putts a day. So those are the 3 things that we're going to be doing over Project 100, and every single Saturday from here until I decide that everything is going to be done with it, we're going to talk about at least one part of the disc golf game and how you can improve. And I'm hoping to get a lot of really cool guests and coaches to help us along this journey. Next week will probably be a look at backhand form. We'll look at forehand form, putting, up shots, rollers for sure, even stuff like the mental game, disc selection. If there are any things you want to see in this series, definitely drop them down below. And I think if I can manage to find the time to do this, I'm going to create a Facebook group that we'll all be able to be a part of. So there will be a little bit of accountability with it, 100 putts a day on average. So you don't have to putt 100 times a day, but maybe 200 one day, none the next day, 300 the next day, none the next day, 200, and then one fieldwork session in one non-disc golf workout. Very achievable, but I'm going to launch this next week while we talk a little bit about backhand form. And if you don't have a good practice basket for putting, I'll link one down in the description, but we'll talk more about that next week, like I said. But I hope that answers a lot of your questions about why I'm able to throw far quickly. A lot of it too, I just played a lot of disc golf. Like, since I was able to work for myself and play disc golf way more than maybe I even should have. And just getting that repetition of throwing obviously helps because you're repeating that motion, but I did not do nearly as much field work as I maybe should have, which is why I'm doing only one, but at least one during the week, and hopefully a little bit more than that for myself and for you overachievers out there. But this brings me, unfortunately, to some pretty sad news and maybe some good news, but yes, subscribe and like the video, please. Forgot to say that. Trying to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. Actually kind of looks like we're on track, which is craziness. But the unfortunate news is we took our van into the shop in Tallahassee and got some pretty unfortunate news that there's just a bunch of stuff wrong with it. They quoted us $20,000. We can probably get that down to about half if we went to another mechanic or something, and we're definitely gonna look for that. But there's a couple like pretty big things that are up with our van that make it so that probably not gonna be in Mexico over the winter. And just because we don't want to take a lot of chances with the van, and we're hoping within the next 6 months anyways to look at buying a house and what all that looks like. We're probably going to be in Florida for the off season, which does mean I'll be able to play a few more tournaments potentially. Maybe if you guys are in Florida, we can meet up, but priority for that will go to the patrons, and you can join the Patreon with the link in the description. Also, at the third tier, which is $20, you can choose whatever disc you want me to review, and I'm working on a lot of those for the patrons now. There will be some more content to come out of this for sure, and that actually probably means that I'm still going to be doing daily videos because my travel schedule isn't as crazy, but it's just a really unfortunate thing that our life pretty much got turned upside down, and the big dream of heading over to Baja is probably, I don't know if it will happen ever, but hopefully you learn some things about why I throw far and how you can throw farther too. Like, subscribe. Tournament vlogs coming over the next 2 days, because as of right now, when you're watching this video, I'm probably in the middle of my tournament round, so that's pretty neat. Let me know what videos you want to see. Join the Patreon, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I don't think I've said that enough yet. These might be coming out very soon on my website in limited order. This is a misprint, so don't exactly look at the stamp, but don't look at it. If you want to see that tournament that I won, check out this video right over here. If you want to see a tournament vlog where I shot my first 1,000 rated round, check that out right down here. Don't look at this. I told you not to look at it. Pretty cool though. Stop looking. Okay, bye. Love you.